All right, well, welcome back to our Friday episode of the Midjourney Experiment. Today, we're going to take it easy. It is Friday. We're just going to, I've already generated some images. As of last week, I started playing with ChatGPT a little bit more. So, I've been asking ChatGPT to help me design some prompts. So I went through and I designed some prompts. And they came out actually really cool for the most part. So the images or the categories that ChatGPT had me look up were or prompt were very cool, and we'll go through them. I've already pre-prompted them. I haven't really looked through them. I've just kind of got the bulk of the work out of the way so that we wouldn't be sitting here watching these things generate. We can always generate more. Let me throw the scrolling banner back up on the top. Maybe that's too distracting. I'm working with a little bit of a new setup today, but we're gonna actually do a little bit of a revamp to the show, and I'm gonna start doing some actual artwork either here or on another channel of drawing things. So this image was create a surreal underwater landscape with vibrant bioluminescent creatures. So that was the task that I was given. I always forget to put the word create or anything like imagine, because I feel like the prompting is already imagined. Yet that's not really true, right? The prompt to run the function is just imagine. So I don't know. Anyways, I can just pop out the ChatGPT support thing, and we can read them here. Create a surreal underwater landscape using bioluminescent creatures. Actually, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put it over here on this side, and I'll just read through. Let me shrink it down a little bit. That way I can continue dialogue as we move along. Oh, I need the chat. I'm so unorganized. There's so many things to do. There we go. Pulling up the chat. I don't know where we're going to put the chat. Oh, I know what to do. I need another monitor. I don't want to say that because I already have two. My previous setup was good, but now I'm working with a few different things. So, alright. So this one was create a surreal underwater landscape with vibrant bioluminescent creatures. Now this right here, oh, I can't see it. It's better in the 2D version. This right here is actually a really cool looking mushroom type jellyfish with eyes. It's like half fish, half jellyfish. And then here's just a landscape. It's almost divided in the middle, giving us two different versions of underwater scene. It'd be a good background to copy and paste, maybe a mermaid in the foreground or illustrating something within this. Maybe Maybe I'll do some create backgrounds and I'll try to draw in foregrounds. I'm not that good at drawing though, so that'd be a pretty challenging task for me to do. Or they wouldn't blend well. It would push me to get better at masking. But we'll see. We'll see what we decide to do. Let's check this one out. I feel like it has the bioluminescence part, which is pretty cool. Is this landscape underwater? I don't believe so. I feel like we're above water. Still neat though. Imagine this being like the intro to like The Emperor's New Groove or something like that. Has that feel to it. This one, very Matrix feeling, you know, reminds me of the underground sewer system and them being chased in their spaceship. Scoot a little closer. This light is bright, but we'll just deal with it. Still not underwater though. None of these were underwater except for the first one, maybe? This one is underwater. Create a surreal, okay, surreal underwater landscape with vibrant bioluminescent creatures. This one would work. It's very graphic design illustrated. Like the style is very CGI, like unpolished CGI. Okay, the next one was generate an abstract representation of eternal love. Now these were pretty interesting. I thought they were really cool. Just the strokes that they use to create this hair. I feel like this would be very natural, but I don't know how you would recreate something like this. There's so many layers of color. You could paint it in sections, but you know, if you wanted to blend, I don't know. The faces look very airbrushed in this photo. Look at the secret hand on her shoulder. I hate that it gives us white borders when I'm showing you the whole screen. Anyways. Very cool. Looks like she's like wearing this really ornate dress that's just like she's moving, or she or he, or they just look both female. I still don't know where this creepy hand's coming from, but overall a pretty cool picture. Strong statement. Generate an abstract representation of eternal love. I don't know what eternal love looks like. I guess that's why we're asking Midjourney to. Not even in like my mind's eye do I know what it looks like. These are all cool pictures though. This is like a paint pour, which is pretty cool. I bet you this is like achievable. I bet you can actually do this. I could probably do this. You would need like a toothpick. Her hand would be slightly hard to do. Like this part. I think it'd be hard to like keep some of the paint pour together, but I think it's like conceivable. They both look really stretched out too, which that's not where I wanted to be. There's ChatGPT. I don't know. I feel like this is an achievable goal. Again, I mean, how do you create? Is this just fluid? Is this mixing color? How could you recreate this in like paint? Watercolor probably would be the easiest. Just adding paint. But this doesn't even look like it's painted in watercolor. Looks like colored pencil. Color pencil and markers, I've seen them do some amazing things with color pencils and markers. I've seen my students do some amazing things with color pencils and markers. This is pretty cool. This is design a futuristic cityscape with advanced technology and flying vehicles. So here's our spaceship. Futuristic city. Looks like it's on fire, but that's just lights. No, that looks like it's on fire. Design a futuristic cityscape with advanced technology and flying vehicles. That is one pretty cool looking spaceship. It almost looks like it has like a little face here with 2 eyes and teeth. Futuristic cityscape. I like how there's like, I don't know if you can see it, but down here there's like bridges that are going across the water. Floating bridges. Here's another one. These flying things are a little bit more cartoonish. Everything's a little bit vague. I do like this like tunnel bridge thing that they have here. That's pretty cool. I wonder if like a lot of this stuff will start influencing the way we make things in the real world. Futuristic cityscape. Yep, that looks pretty futuristic. Advanced flying technologies. Here's like our drones and stuff. Sky trains. Just sky trains for the people who don't like taking aerial transport. But maybe these just super move people. I guess there's all types of ways to travel. Some animals like to stay on the ground, and that's fair. That is very fair. Alright, we got mushrooms. Our next one is produce a whimsical and enchanting forest inhabited by magical creatures. It's pretty cool. It's got a very Thomas Kincaid feel. I saw this really cool thing that they did in Photoshop where they cut out the foreground, right? And then you generative fill. You don't generative fill, you just you can fill a layer, so like this layer is on top of that layer. And then you cut out the layer here. I might try to do that with one of these, because you have like a couple foregrounds, and then you can shift the pictures on top of each other as you zoom in, and it gives you like a crazy effect. But I'm sure there's like a filter on it for Snapchat, so I don't know. Understanding a lot of how things work and move are really interesting, and I don't know how that's going to translate into, should we spend time making stuff like that when in reality that's going to take me an hour. I can probably find an app that does it. But that one would work really good with like a very distinct foreground and background, and yeah, foreground. I don't know what the midground is called. Subject range, I don't know. I could see mythical creatures living here, like fairies and minotaurs, and looks like a place where they would live. So Midjourney did a pretty good job. And I like how ChatGPT really tested when I wrote this prompt, because the prompt was to generate 5 topics to test Midjourney with. So these are kind of the 10 topics that it wanted to try. Figured it wouldn't hurt. So also a very good background. It doesn't have as defined layers as the first one, so I think that this would be a little bit easier or the other one would be a little bit easier to work with. But I still need to figure out exactly how that works. Alright, so this one is, title of this one is illustrate the concept of infinite space in a cosmic artwork. In a cosmic artwork. That's pretty cool. Still, like, Weirdly enough, there's a little watermark on the corner with somebody's fake name. Easy enough to remove, but just weird that that happens sometimes. Is it weird? Maybe it's not weird. This one's cool too. He's like standing in a cloud. Just watching like a giant satellite like fall. Or something. He's in some sort of force field though. This looks like a overexposure or like a long shutter speed. That's not correct. Yeah, that's correct. A long shutter speed with some movement. Actually, I bought my dad a little motor for his telescope so that it turns with the rotation of the Earth, so you don't get the streaking when you photograph it with using those longer shutter speed times. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if he ever used it. That's cool too. These guys are all by themselves. Most of these pictures are of single people. This one's really cool. Reminds me of a scene from Armageddon. He's on the meteorite. Or meteor. I don't know. It's a meteorite. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Play a little bit of tune so we can maybe I'm running too many things. Alright, the next thing we had going on here is generate a digital painting that captures the essence of retrofuturism. That's a pretty cool looking car. Has such a long front end. I mean, it looks self-driving for the most part. Look at the speedway, no rail. Give it a go, huh? For some reason there's a reflection, so I think there's like water here between you and the barrier. You just skip across that, go right through that thing. The future retro doesn't look safe. This is pretty cool. I like the visual imagery. Could easily write a story about a young boy growing up on a space station. Having like all the coolest things, but not being able to go outside. Could you imagine your whole life being lived inside? You would miss outside so much. You would miss it. It might play an ad.
You're still purchasing
Definitely it's playing an ad.
What are you doing? Come on.
Sorry, I had to refresh. But I mean, you could write some cool stories about things like this. How do you regenerate something like this, though? Try to get it to describe it and then rewrite it. Does ChatGPT do image to text? I don't know. I don't know. Something that I should find out, though. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something. Just might not work. Alright. Real ominous feel to this, to that photo. This is really cool. I don't know why, but it's cool. They have these like giant dome-like lenses, but it's like staring straight at a building. Maybe it's some kind of like force field generator or something on the outside of a spaceship. But this is, and there's the futuristic city in the background. Pretty cool. Retrofuturism. I like how this is done. This is almost done in like a two-stage print. I feel like this would be something you could do with stencils. But you have this like black color. You have a couple different shades of red, which you could fake a little bit. A blue, a white, some grays. Wouldn't be terribly hard to get the look. It's not a great picture though. I don't love it. Okay, this one was create a portrait of a famous historical figure using a modern abstract style. I closed a few things to see if it would help the live stream run a little bit better. Okay. Where's my cursor? Sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure out a few things. So this one says create a portrait of a famous historical figure using a modern or abstract style. I really like this style. I feel like I should just paint something with like these bold squares and some blue and some oranges. I think I would really like trying that. I could probably do this too, like his face. Abstract. But then with like a very cool like painted look. Large brush strokes. Just enough to give your brain the idea of a painting. See, it's not like that blue doesn't work there. It's kinda okay. I feel like I really should get back to painting. These are all very cool. I have a friend in Thailand that paints pictures using triangles in different colors. It's really cool. I think his name is Oath, is what he writes. I believe. It's been a while since I've looked through my old archive of paraphernalia, graffiti paraphernalia, but yeah, he does some really cool artwork out there. The next one we have is design a steampunk inspired world with intricate machinery and clockwork elements. This is like right up Midjourney's alley. We're gonna zoom in a little bit so we can see the clock part. Very clock-like. No hour or minute hand on this clock. Just some gears. It's pretty cool. The Cathedral of Time. Our heroes land in the Cathedral of Time where they start their adventure. Almost like a spaceship. Because it's like floating. Cool. Alright, the next one we're gonna do, still the same one. Steampunk inspired world by with intricate machinery and clockwork elements. It's funny because we put the word clock in it and it didn't give us any clocks, and there's been so many instances where it puts clocks in everything. So I'm a bit confused. It's still a pretty cool image. my eyes are immediately drawn to this like sad pillowcase man over here in the corner. I don't know why. There's like two wise men inside the clock tower there. But this is not even a sad guy's face, but when it's small, it looks like a little sad marshmallow man. Here's another cool steampunk inspired world. I like this like little butterfly or bee looking thing at the bottom, but I know when we take a closer look it won't be a bee. But I like that shape. It's like some rich billionaire's gate. Elon Musk's front, inside his house, he has a safe that looks like this. Pretty cool. Pretty ornate. Next set of images. Generate a cyberpunk street scene with neon lights, rain, and futuristic fashion. Man, I've seen some of these fashion TikToks where people are like rating their fits in LA, and those kids, those people look like Back to the Future. When like Biff in Back to the Future, I think it's the second one where they go to the future and they're wearing all those things, that's what they look like. Is that like us conforming to like media? Are we just like destined to be the stories that are written? Star Trek, touchscreen TV, touchscreen panels, right? Years later, someone invented that. This looks like Japan in the future. Tokyo. It's got very Tokyo style written all over it. Again. Very cool picture. Looks like Chinatown in like New York City. There's a Chinatown in every major city around the world. Like that's just crazy. How is there a Chinatown in every major city in the world? There's even a Chinatown in Bangkok. Those Chinese are gonna take over. It's just an observation, not a fact. The Chinatown in Bangkok is crazy. It's fun, but like there's just so much to buy. And you can buy things that like starting off at like the very smallest of parts. You can buy like anything your brain could desire, and you can go home and build weird things, which was fun. But you have to like sort through all the things and the vendors. It's like any Chinatown. So this one is illustrate the theme of dreams and nightmares in a visually striking way. This looks much more like nightmares than it looks like dreams, but It does have a dreamy feel to it. I feel like little girls in spooky nighttime situations, instant fear. Fear level goes up like 1,000%. You see a little boy floating up to space like this? Not so afraid. It's been trained into us. Ooh. This one's bright. Has a lot going on. Illustrate the themes of dreams and nightmares in a visually striking way. See, and then he gives us clocks. Like, we didn't talk about time at all, and we have clocks with like hands and arms. I just don't understand. There's clocks everywhere. Is that a bird or is that an owl? I don't know. This is cool. This is cool. She's just sitting on a cloud. Looks like she's knitting or sleeping. This is also very cool. There's not so many dreams, a lot of nightmares, but I wish there was like more dreams, like more not so ghoulish things. Imagine a post-apocalyptic world where nature has reclaimed the urban landscape. That looks pretty legitimate to what I've seen of places that have been abandoned. Wow, that's crazy. Like, what was that? Was that a building like out on the end of a bridge? What kind of person do you have to be to live there? Extremely wealthy at one point. It looks more like a condominium though. So a lot of pollution in the world of post-apocalyptic, where nature has reclaimed the urban landscape. It looks what I mean, they're very close to what I would consider them to look like. This one's interesting. It says, generate an artwork that portrays the concept of harmony between man and machine. Is what this the future of medicine? Is this what we'll be looking at? Man and machine. Helmet that hardwires our brain in so it can live forever. This is really cool. This reminds me of like Mad Scientist versus like himself. All his projects. everything that he needs to work on. And both are falling apart. I really like this picture, it's cool. Be a really cool comic book cover or album cover. It's cool too. Just trying to get a better look at it, sorry. It's very harmonious look into like the system. Like what would you need to function like a to be more AI-ish. It's a really cool robot. Chrome is really hard to pull off. I like how it has the orange reflection even from the counterpart, even though they look like two pictures pasted together. Mostly cyber woman in love with a completely cyber man. Ethically challenging. Create a magical world, a magical otherworldly realm filled with floating islands and mythical creatures. Really cool floating islands. Like the big giant moon in the background. You can even have like, I think those are trees. I thought they were bridges. I was like, that's pretty cool that it has like form and function. I feel like this would be cool to draw. I always have a hard time getting like this part though, like the bottom part. But it just changes color completely from the top when you have the light source in the back. It's all dependent though. This one's cool. This one does have a bridge in the middle. Just thinking about the story that I wrote a romantic I wouldn't say it's kind of a tragic romance story, but it has two people on the top of a mountain and it has to do with a bridge, but I think maybe two people on islands with like this visual would be pretty good too, like just seeing it in my head. I already have that one sketched out and I have a bunch of frames drawn for it. It just never made it to getting finished, like many projects. Alright, so here's another one. These ones aren't floating. Maybe floating on the water. They're cool though. Again, I like how they built us some bridges to make it more realistic that, you know, we're on Jupiter, the place of double moons. Why are there two moons here? Not realistic. Too bad. Alright. Last one with floating islands. This is really cool, this like bridge of rock. The like plants have grown on. I just feel like it could go at any time. It rains too hard, there's just too much weight. Even though they have like a waterfall in the middle. That's pretty wild. I mean, water has so many other options to fall off than falling off in the middle between the two. Some of these islands are floating. Just the inhabitants are really cool, but no real mythical creatures, like nothing in detail. Alright, this one says illustrate the idea of time travel with a scene featuring elements from different eras. This one looks like the Wild West. Like with this little cathedral in the background. Let's see if we can see it better. You got a little church back here. You have what looks to be a cowboy here. Maybe some headstones of some fallen cowboys, and then just like that old campfire out in the middle of the desert look. He's time traveled way too far back. He's definitely like in the Land Before Time era. Let's see if we can find anything that supports our claim. There's no cities or anything for miles to see, but that doesn't mean that he's landed in prehistoric time. There's plenty of places on this planet with no cities on it. You know, like might have just landed in the Amazon forest. This one's cool no matter what. I like the clock. It actually has like the correct markings on it too. So what time is it? This is the small hand. It's 10. It's 10:10. 10:11, somewhere in there. But 10:10 makes more sense. Just for sake of argument. I like everything about this picture. I've always liked this background in the sky with this orange, mustard yellow, gold color on the bottom. I don't know what these animals are. They're scary. But probably just time traveling ghouls that get, latch onto you as you're running through time. The time traveling gremlins. I'm sure there's a story like that somewhere. Alright. Again, clock has the right letters on it. We've landed in like a medieval circus time. Reminds me of like the World's Fair or something. Just come see the world's largest clock. Has like landed in the middle of the World's Fair. Just try to stop H.H. Holmes from killing people. Would be a good, it's probably a Doctor Who or something like that. Alright, this one is generate an abstract representation of hope and resilience in time of adversity. Hope and resilience? I mean, if you told somebody that's what it was, somebody would believe you. That doesn't look like resilience. It looks like sadness, anger. The orange and yellow make it look angry. Also looks kind of like an eye right here and like a wolf's face or a dragon's face. Dripping effect mixed blended with the hair. Pretty cool, but not hope and resilience. I feel like this one could very well be like an illustration of hope and resilience. Have hope, be resilient poster, right? Put a white border, just cut a white border across. Have hope, be resilient. Be resilient, have hope. In the face of adversity. This just looks like a wild style graffiti piece, which I love, but definitely not showing hope and resilience in the face of adversity. Next we have, we're almost done here. Where is it? Design an intricate and ornate mandala using symmetrical patterns. Very cool mandala. Pretty cool. Would be fun to like learn how to make one. I just don't have the time right now. Maybe I'll do that for the channel. Try to recreate a mandala. Wow, I don't know how I would do that. I feel like you have to paint that in straight up layers. You just paint like the back layer, then I don't even know. There's probably YouTube videos out there about it though. This one's intricate. Looks like a table paisley or a teacup like lace thing. That girl's holding an Apple Pencil. How is she drawing like that? This is cool though, this idea of drawing on black paper, and I have some black paper, so maybe I'll give it a shot. I need some like really bright colors though. But I could probably get away with doing something cool. Maybe I'll try that. I feel like going through all these pictures 3 times a week and making stuff was like really kind of showing me more of a creative boundary where I'm like, well, I could probably paint that if I did it this way, and it lets me figure it out before I paint it rather than paint it and try to struggle through it at the same time. Like reverse engineering. So this one is create psychedelic artwork inspired by music of the 1960s. I really like this picture. This would look cool, like blown up on a wall. Another one you could probably do with stencils. I just don't know what the easiest way to do it would be. It's so many colors. You could color separate it, do it like a silk screen. But then it would be easier to do it through a silk screen. This is really cool. I really like her eyes, even though they're very evil. They just pop with their green skin and the rest. But they also don't. They also kind of blend in a little bit. It's a pretty cool, interesting picture. I feel like I've painted something like this. This gets really close into my style of stenciling with like a couple layers of stencils, but I haven't made a stencil in years. And the most colors I've ever used was 9, which was a lot of colors. So, all right. Here another one. We have like a word here that looks like it's not a signature, but just a bunch of random letters. Pretty cool retro looking image. All kind of the same, very blocky, bright colors put next to each other. I like it. Alright, the next is design a futuristic space station orbiting a distant unknown planet. It's a pretty good futuristic space station. Looks like something I've seen on Star Trek. Next Generation or something a long time ago. It's a pretty interesting looking space station. Very flat. 2 cities on each side. The space station looks similar to the first one. This one almost looks like it's landed in the water. I don't know, I don't like this picture. It's not good. Like, look at the moon, it's like an egg. No, not about it. There's another, this one's good too. Same type of design. So like if you lived here, you'd have to go all the way here to get to here. I'm sure like there's a eating cafeteria or something. I guess that's just like real life. So you'd want to live here and here because you're right at the main entrance. That's probably where all the money homes are. But if you look, you got some like beach property homes that are out here on the edge. Those ones are money too, I'm sure, like this big one. But if you like just are working class, you probably live like right here. Sad. Generate artworks that convey a feeling of solitude in the wilderness. This is a good one. I like it. She looks like she's meditating, letting the wind just rush through her hair, like listening to the sounds of the water. She doesn't quite look like she's in the water, but I think it's just because of this line. Could fix that. I feel like I've seen this in real life. Steamboat Rock. When we went kayaking in the storm. Looks kind of like that. It looks like a very peaceful place to wake up. The enchantments up in Washington. I woke up on a lake that was blue and crystal clear. like a great National Geographic photo. I just saw some deer. I just went camping for the last camping trip of the summer. It was a lot of fun. And look at, surprise, surprise, we're going to probably end on this one, which is the last one, is illustrate the concept of metamorphosis in a visually captivating way. Girls with fish. Midjourney's favorite thing to do. More girls and fish. Girls and flowers and floating birds and things. Looks like a beta fish slash bird. Beta fish tail. Bird wings, no head. Flower as a head. Then butterflies underwater. Huh. Well, those are all pretty interesting. Like, I don't know which ones my favorites were, but like, I like that meditation one. This one with the time cowboy, that one's pretty cool. Lots of cool generations. I mean, ChatGPT does have a lot of good ideas. It's I think it's more creative than I am, actually. This one's pretty creepy too. The visual representation of nightmares and dreams. But this helps spark a few like new ideas that maybe I can work on in the future. Like maybe I should do a whole cyberpunk hour, or maybe I should do more, you know, abstract paintings, or whatever the case may be. But if you have any suggestions or ideas, leave it in the comments below. I'm always taking new ideas and trying to test Midjourney against, you know, creativity and seeing how well it does its job of making things. I heard version 6 is going to be released soon. What else is happening in the world of AI? I don't know. Lots of Photoshop's beta test of Premiere I might try to see how that works. There's all kinds of new tools that are coming out. It's really hard to keep up and play with Midjourney, but there was 20 different generations that we tried based on ChatGPT prompts that it gave me. I don't know, I hope you enjoyed this one. Everyone have a good Friday night. Be safe out there and have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. Peace.